as you get to, into your late 30s, early 40s, maybe into your 50s, boy, you start seeing the clock on the wall, right?
Hi, I'm Daniel Lakstins, and you're listening to the Roofing Business Builder podcast, brought to you by Roofing Business Builder, the coaching program. And go ahead and hit subscribe right now and click like and hit the bell so that way you'll be notified when another amazing episode comes out. Well, this week we have a treat because I have Jim Ahlin back, and of course, he's a co-founder of Roofer Marketers. He also is the host of the Roofing Success podcast, and he's a co-author of the book Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors. And we had a great discussion. There's a lot of things that we talked about, and I think you're going to take away some really good information, especially if you're thinking about the future. What is going to happen with your roofing business, especially if you're in your maybe 30s or your 40s or maybe your 50s. And so we have some great ideas that we're going to share with you in this episode. So let's look into my interview with Jim Ahlin.
5 years, 10 years down the road, you look back at your company and you go, my goodness, I'm almost embarrassed of what we did 10 years ago. And when that happens, Daniel, to me, when that happens, when you look back and you're embarrassed, that means you went fast enough.
I love it. Sometimes, though, I do. Never be embarrassed about the person you were.
No.
But we're embarrassed because we didn't have that knowledge yet.
That's right.
And we're embarrassed because I didn't know that much about that. But I tell you this, though, some of us were geniuses when we were in our late teens, early 20s.
For sure.
Some of the gumption that we had with the lack of knowledge that we had, oh my God, it's amazing how successful we were. And so
before our frontal lobes were developed there, Daniel, that risk aversion just was not there, right? Was not there. Yeah. There was no aversion to let's go. This risk straight on. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I got another 100 years to go. So I can take risk right now. But yeah,
what is it about that as you grow, we could chat about that a little bit. What are your thoughts on that? As you get to, into your late 30s, early 40s, maybe into your 50s, boy, you start seeing the clock on the wall, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh man. And so I think that a lot of times people move into a comfort zone, a contentness, they reduce risk to a point where it's almost an inhibitor to their business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I always preach that we need to, no matter what stage of our business we're in, we need to look at exit strategies and then plan an exit strategy over a period of 5 to 10 years. Because the truth is in the roofing industry, where's your retirement? Are you going to have a retirement? So it's something to think about. And we should be thinking about that from the get-go. I don't care if you're in your 20s or if you're in your 30s or in your 40s. I interviewed a guy that's buying up roofing businesses all over Florida. And I mean, he's paying multi-millions of dollars for a business, especially if you have SOPs.
That's right.
If you have your company, if your company doesn't run itself without you, that means that
you are a business.
Yeah.
One of my favorite books is by Robert Kiyosaki. It's the cash flow quadrant. The cash flow quadrant is a quadrant, right? So it's upper left-hand quadrant is E. Lower left-hand quadrant is S. Upper right-hand quadrant is B. Lower right-hand quadrant is I. Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. So those are the quadrants. So maybe you start off as an employee. That's where you'll gain a skill, right? Maybe you were a roofing sales rep. Maybe you were on the production side, right? You learned the trade, or you learned the skill of selling, but you've learned the business. And so you've learned you learn as being an employee. That path leads you to self-employment. This is where most business owners sit, is self-employment. They think they're business owners, but they're not. They're self-employed.
They created a job that they own.
They created a job that they own. Exactly. And I love the realization of that. If you're like, this is something that you have to sit back and think about. Self-employment is not saleable.
No.
Right. So now what you said, they're looking, like, people are looking to invest in companies with SOPs, and they're looking to invest in businesses. So you have to take yourself from that S quadrant and move yourself to the B quadrant. Once you've moved to that B quadrant, now you have an asset. So one thing that it's a kind of a realization. So businesses sell for a multiple of earnings. Roofing businesses, maybe three times multiple, 5 times multiple, maybe 7 times multiples. Have you seen anything above that?
The person I interviewed, and I'll have to put his name down.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not popping in, but he actually said that if no SOPs, only 3%, because I mean that's really risky for them. Right. And they're going to want you to work there for 3 years. To run that business until there's a person that's trained to become you, because they're going to create those SOPs for you, and they're going to get that business function.
They're going to turn it into a business.
Yes,
while you're running it.
Because you're the one that's running it. So you can't. I mean, imagine pulling you out of the picture, and yet maybe you know all of the, say, depending on the type of business you have, but you know all the municipalities. You know, maybe you and the local maintenance director for the local county is best friends with you. Maybe he was best friends with your dad. You know what I mean? So you have these relationships with architects. You have relationships with schools. You have relationships. Well, if you don't go around with the guy that's replacing you and make sure that this person, that they love this person as much as they love you, then that person investing a few $1 million or multi-millions into your roofing business, that person, if it doesn't sink, then they're buying something that's just going to go away. As soon as you're gone, there is no business. So it's not worth
a business.
So you only get a 3 multiple at the most off of something like that. And then looking at your equipment,
of course. Yep.
What do you own your office building?
Assets that you have and things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now if you have standard operating procedures, and if you can go to Europe for 3 months and then come back and your business actually grew, now that's worth money.
That's worth money for sure. What did he mention? Multiple
5 to 7. He'll pay 5 to 7.
5 to 7, right?
If it's built with SOPs.
So now you have to once you understand that, right? It's with the end in mind, everything with the end in mind, right? So when you build the business, we look at, like Jeff Bezos or something like that, or Bill Gates, and we always hear their net worth. Okay. Their net worth is not cash in their bank account. It's value of the stock in their company. So you, as the business owner, own the stock in your company. You may own 100% of the stock in your company. So now when we understand that the business sells for 3 to 5 to 7 times it's EBITDA, but it's essentially your net profit. Let's just make it simple, your net profit. So let's say you have
a yearly net profit.
Yearly net profit, correct. So let's say that you have a
year, they're going to multiply that by either 3 years or by 5 or by 7 years.
5 or 7. So let's say you have a business that is netting $100,000 a year in net profit. You're going to get that 3 multiple. So someone's going to pay you $300,000 for your business. So your net worth right now is $300,000.
Isn't that nice? I mean, it's something.
You realized it. Now, if you have a business that's doing, $350,000 a year, and someone's going to give you a 3 times multiple, I don't know if you know this, but you're a millionaire.
Yeah. And that's a good mindset to have.
Haven't cashed the check. Even though you haven't cashed the check, you're a millionaire. It's so think of yourself that way, right? Especially now, if you have a real strong business, now you have business, you have an SOP, it can run by itself. Now your business nets $1 million a year. You're probably going to get more in that 5 range. Maybe you get more in that 5 range. Now you're worth $5 million.
Isn't that incredible?
It's something, man. And then if you get up into the $2-3 million of net profit, boy, you're getting that 7. Now you're worth $21 million.
And there right now, what I found by interviewing this individual was that there are VCs, venture capitalist groups, that's where they make their money. And they've looked at a lot of different, businesses to buy different segments of industries out there. And they see the profitability of a roofing business because roofers make a lot more money. It's American dream. You can make a whole lot of money as a roofer,
There's strong profitability.
Yeah.
Right? There's strong profitability in roofing and
it's a low entry, fiscal entry into the industry.
Can be a low barrier to entry.
Yes.
Depending on the state, like that person was buying in Florida.
Yep.
A little harder to get started in Florida than down there in Austin, right?
Well, he was buying in Texas too.
Yeah, that's right. And it's but understanding that if you run a good business in the roofing industry, man, you have the opportunity to build something for yourself. Another thing as business owners is the diversification, right? So now if you have a business that is more diversified, you have a residential roofing division, you have a commercial roofing division, you have a service maintenance program, you have, you're doing replacements and service maintenance. Like if you have a more diversified revenue stream, that levels out the potential ups and downs of your business over time.
Yeah.
That creates more value.
Absolutely.
Right? Or if you are a commercial roofing company, for you maybe you have good crews and you know that your crews are good at that. You could flip the switch and they could do residential also. If you went and purchased a residential roofing company and just bolted it on, now you have added value. Or opposite, if you're a residential roofing contractor and you go purchase a commercial roofing contractor who has some good service maintenance contracts already in place, that like you could buy that source of revenue and just bolt it on to your company. There's so many cool ways to make that work. But I think a thing what you were talking about is in building a business, thinking with the end in mind. Think about building a business and understanding that, boy, you have an asset here, man. And so in understanding the way that roofing businesses are sold, you can then understand the value in what you have and what you want out of it. So if you do want to exit and you want to put $2 million in your bank account, you can build your business to fit that,
to sell
for $2 million. Like if you know what you could, it's an amazing thing. So that knowledge
also gives you motivation too, because now you have that, like you just said, the end goal in mind here. And if that's motivation is like, oh my goodness, this is one. Jim just said that I'm worth $1 million now. I didn't even know it. Well, what if I can get this up to 1 million or in revenue? Maybe I get to 5 million in revenue, 10 million in revenue.
That's right.
And then, oh my God, you know what? You're a roofer and you're going to be out in the Bahamas on a yacht, hanging out with people that are tech company guys that made their money there. You're like, so what do you do? And you're going to be fucking proud to say,
that's right.
I was a roofer, but I'm a self-made millionaire because I was a roofer and I did it,
That's right.
Ooh, I can't imagine sucking on some pina coladas.
It'd be nice, Daniel. Like we'll be there one day. No.
Oh, I've been there. You've been there. Come on.
I have too. Yeah, I do take those trips every now and then, but it's okay. It's a fun thing to do, man.
I've been stuck at helping my family right now, so that's the reason why you haven't seen me.
Those are times that you can't take back, though, right? So it's more valuable than that pina colada on the beach.
I had no idea. Yeah, I was like, why? I feel like, oh, my law of attraction is not working. What's going on in my life? I can't make it to a trade show this year, and I'm like, and someone told me, because all of us need a coach sometimes, and someone said, Daniel, you'll look back at this time and say that you were with your family.
That's right.
When your mom died, you've been helping your father. I'm taking care of my dad with dementia. And I'm the only, because of my past, the successes I had, it allowed me to be here to do what's important. So
that's right.
But it's good. I didn't know this was going to happen, but maybe with what you and I are sharing in the podcast today will help people to know that, there is a time frame. And then like you said, when you hit 40, between 40 and 50, your parents are aging.
My goodness.
And it may be something that you'll be called upon by the universe, or God may select you to be the person that takes care of all those things.
Yeah.
But don't, it's painful when you're going through it. But with this person that was mentoring me on, they said that you'll look back at this and say, this is the most amazing time of my life.
Yeah.
One of them,
One of them. Yeah. It is. It's amazing to be able to, like, that's a big thing. It's to be able to help your family when, help someone in need, or from an, kind of bringing you back to, as a business owner, helping your employees, helping your, there's so many things that get created from just pushing forward in your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But that's a thing, though, is we have to think of the future. We have to think of strategy. And then what I love was what you're talking about was a Jocko, is his
Jocko
name?
Willink, yeah.
Jocko Willink. Yeah, because you know what? It reminds me of Sears and Roebuck, but I can't remember the guy's first name. I used to think it was William Henry, but it's not now, at least not in this timeline. But anyways, but he was the same way. When he was building Sears, shit would hit the fan and his employees would come in and say, "Oh no." And he'd always say, "Well, that's good." Just like Jocko. I wonder if he got it from there, because I've read this.
It's the,
But you know what he'd say, though? He'd add something. He'd say that he would think of one good thing about the situation, but if he couldn't, he would always say, "This is a challenge we've never dealt with, and I believe in us as a team that will find the solutions to this challenge." And so that's so beautiful.
And that's leadership, right? That's a leadership statement. Right. Mm-hmm. That's not and that's a leadership and abundance mentality, right? Like that's we're here to solve problems. We're going to do it together. We're all in it together. Let's go charge the hill.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. Let's do this. Right. Yeah. And you always have mentors out there, and you have help from people like us. So, and Adam, they have help from people like us.
That's right, man. That's right. Yeah, there's lots of good people out there, especially now, man. The internet breaks things, and the internet has broken the access to information. Yeah. And so there are no trade secrets out there. Stop trying to hide them. If you do, you're fooling yourself, because it's not a trade secret.
It's a negative energy you're feeling, though. You're feeling like you're threatened, or like something is going to happen to you. You don't need to feel that way. And if you feel that way, guess what? Your employees are going to pick up on it, and then they're going to start adopting your feelings. So if you're always upset about something, then all your employees will be that way. You ever go into a restaurant or a department store or something, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're just assholes," and you're like, I don't want to be here. And that what you'll find, and this has happened before. Next, you have to do a roof, and then you go in and you meet the management. You meet the management, you're like, I don't want to do this roof. Yeah. Because I tell you, you could choose what jobs you want, especially, when you get to a certain point where you're not going to do a job that's going to turn into a headache for you.
Yes.
But the way you can tell is the employees of any business will be reflecting the personality of the CEO or the business owner. And so I tell you, if the employees are stingy, chances are you're not going to get paid on that roof. Yeah. Or you won't make any money.
That's right. Look at how the top is leading. There will be some clues.
Yeah. That's awesome. So is there any other advice that you could give for people that, maybe in the 30s, or even the 20s? Because, I tell you, start early. But when it comes to looking at the future, when it comes to their business.
So it's the continuous improvements is really the easiest thing, man. It's understanding that it's the marathon, not a race, right? Yeah, I think that there's a couple things. So first of all, it's just the consistent action, consistent solving of problems, and embracing that you're just going to be solving problems over and over again. But I think one of the things that I've learned, and this is something that I didn't understand in my 20s, moving into my 30s, and now in my 40s, I'm really understanding a lot more, is the amount of effort that it takes. It will probably take more effort than you think. And because of that, know that you have to, you're going to have to put in, it's time or money, right? You're going to put additional time or additional money into what you think you're going to get to get you to that end goal. But once you understand the amount of effort that it does take, and you're willing to make that and do that effort, great things are going to come out of that, man.
Absolutely. Jim Ahlin, thank you so much. But hey, how can people find you? Yeah, you are the Roof Marketers. So
Roofer Marketers, yeah. So at the Roofer Marketers on Facebook, all social media, Roofer Marketers, YouTube channel, Roofing Success podcast, at Roofing Success for all of that. And come check us out.
Yeah, keep listening, because these are the mentors for you to grow and scale. Yes, you will be a multimillionaire. You may already be, after listening to the show, you may actually already be a multimillionaire. But thanks for being on the Roofing Business Builder podcast.
Awesome, man. No problem.
We'll see y'all. And now it's time for Did You Know? Did you know that when it comes to marketing, blogging, any sort of marketing piece that you're putting out there, that there's some things you should know, that using videos or some sort of imagery will actually increase your views by 94%. But there's more. Did you know that using videos can increase, and this is on your landing page, if you have videos of everything, it will increase conversion by 86%. This is incredible. Videos actually get 267% more links than a normal post. That means that you're more connected on the internet with your video than if you were just typing something. 58% of your audience will actually stop watching your video within about 90 seconds. 58%. 20% of people will read the information in what you're posting, whereas 80% of people will watch the video, but it has the same content. So it's a big difference. The video is really important, is the point of this Did You Know? And viewers actually retain 58% more of what they see than what they read. And here's the biggest one too, is that these consumers are going to look at 11 reviews in most cases before they purchase on their path. And that means your review and then 10 other people. So remember what I've said all along, is that people have to know who you are and love who you are and actually feel that that's my roofer as they're looking through your content. And that means that you have to create more content. So we can do it. I've been working my butt off on creating more content too. So you're in the same boat with me if you're resonating with this message. But, and also, if you're looking to grow your business, if you're crossing over from residential into commercial, then I'm looking to bring on a few more students into the program. That's the Roofing Business Builder program. And it's a 6-week course, but you have lifetime calls with me. And actually, this year, I'm going to start doing it totally lifetime. So that means if you're listening to this and you're a part of the program, then it's going to be lifetime for you. And if you're going to be joining the program, then you're going to really be educated on how to cross over to commercial and actually have the mindset of a millionaire to grow and scale past that $1 million mark, past the $10 million mark. So what you need to do next, though, is to get on a qualifying call for the Roofing Business Builder with me. If you're one of those roofers that feel like you're stuck, you can't get past certain things, then you might be a perfect candidate for the Roofing Business Builder program. And what you should do then is to get on my Calendly, which is Daniel Lakstins. Go to just type Calendly, Daniel Lakstins. It'll pull up my Calendly. And then click on the Roofing Business Builder qualifier. We can get on a Zoom call and we can talk about where you're at, where you want to be, and what sort of transformation that you want to have. And then we'll see if you might just be a perfect candidate to become part of the Roofing Business Builder family. Remember that you get 6 weeks of education, and plus you always get to be able to speak with me and ask questions once a week on the weekly Wins call every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if this is something that you've been wanting to do, you may want to jump on that Calendly call with me right away. But hey, that's it for the Roofing Business Builder podcast. I'm so glad that you got to listen, whether you're in your truck or in the office, whatever you have going on. Until the next show, I don't always consult on commercial roofing businesses, but when I do, I make millionaires. Stay wealthy, my friends.